Hello and welcome. Tonight, tanker drivers begin lifting petroleum products from tank farms following the suspension of oil workers' strike. Full complement of security operatives to be deployed to high-risk areas on Democracy Day, May the 29th. Police authorities challenge officers to be alive to their duties. Federal High Court orders NDLEA to vacate residence of Ogun State Senator-elect Buruji Kashamu. NDLEA defies court's orders. And government troops and militia in Iraq launch operation to drive Islamic State out of Anbar province.
And on business news tonight, the Central Bank of Nigeria appraises over 200 applications for 300 billion naira real sector support facility.
On sports news, all is set for the much anticipated final of Season 7 of the Channel's National Kids Cup.
We begin with the heartwarming news that petrol tanker drivers have resumed lifting petroleum products at the various tank farms in Lagos. A visit to the Apapa and Ijegun depots indicates that following the suspension of the petroleum workers' strike, operators of both the tank farms and the tankers have been complying with orders to resume operations. And in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, people are yet to feel the circulation of petroleum products because long queues are still visible. Our correspondent, Gloria Umezioke, who went round the FCT, says the black marketers are still enjoying the moment by selling at exorbitant rates.
There are still long queues within the nation's capital city. Several hours after the announcement by all marketers to call off strike, it appears these residents slept here all night waiting for fuel. When a petrol truck arrived at one of the filling stations, everyone went agog with jubilation. At about 5 in the evening, sale had fully commenced in some stations, while others complained that the attendants were partial in their sales to motorists.
They are just bringing, maybe some people that where they pay money, they'll just use opportunity to enter. A big one, those ones that bring big card, they'll follow back here to enter. We guys, we are queuing and saving money. Nobody.
Since the line is not moving at all, and it's not good like that. See how people enter from that place there. The people out there, the other land there, they just let them just like that. It's not good like that. All of us are Nigerian.
The strike that brought the nation's economy to a near standstill appears to be ending. The chaotic situation that used to be a common sight here at filling stations like this is now non-existent. Now petrol tankers can be seen on the road or in their stations. And of course, residents around here also confirm that there is hope of finally getting fuel, no matter how long today.
On the other side, it's still a thriving business for black marketers who already have designated areas that serve as depots of some sort.
This fuel subsidy, instead for them to remove it or let us get ourselves or to should leave it, we have the resources. What it takes to sanitize Nigeria, it is few people that mislead us like this. Hence, Nigeria government have already sat down to call over the strike. So God should touch them. They should bring in the fuel because masses are suffering.
The strike may have been called off and queues may very well soon disappear, but apparently it might still take a while for full operations to resume across the country. Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Now let's return to Lagos, where our energy correspondent Olu Phillips has been monitoring the situation. His report.
There is a deliberate attempt to sabotage this economy and bring it to a halt and a standstill.
It's been more than 24 hours since a truce was reached between all unions and the federal government over the lingering fuel shortage across Nigeria. As part of the agreement, a directive was issued to marketers to immediately begin lifting of product. Just to be sure that is followed through, we visited the hub of petroleum product supply in Apapa. There are indications that the road to those tank farms in Apapa is now a gridlock, so we opted to travel on waterways, and here we are. But unknown to many, this is not the only axis where tank farms are sited. We also visited the far tucked-in Ijegun-Egba area, popularly called Ijegun Satellite, close to Navy Town. And in contrast to the Apapa axis, this is looking a lot more serene, more organized, as trucks are also loading products for onward distribution.
We have PMS 30 million liters pumpable, and AGO we have 6 million liters pumpable. And we'll be loading in the next 24 hours. Today we are going to load till tomorrow. We'll be on 48 hours. In 48 hours or thereabout, we should be okay with the stock.
For Lagos State that I live in like 2-3 days, everything will normalize. Yes, if they do, in fact 2 days. Look at how they're lifting. All these products, they're not going to anybody, they're going to retail outlets.
In addition to petroleum products in these tanks, are various vessels on the side laden with PMS and diesel waiting to discharge. The quantity ranges from 15,000 metric tons to 30,000 metric tons, which is equivalent to 26.1 million liters each. The wait seems over, the siege is lifted, or so it appears. What is next is finding the product as quickly as possible, pending a lasting solution to the perennial fuel crisis. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, it is illegal for any filling station to sell premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, above the pump price of 87 naira per litre. That's the emphatic pronouncement from the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR. In a statement, the DPR emphasized that the federal government has not increased the price of fuel, and efforts are being made to ensure that the product reaches every part of the country. The DPR insists that there is enough fuel, and petrol stations have also been warned not to sell in jerry cans for safety reasons or risk being sealed up. Now, as he prepares to hand over power to President-elect Muhammadu Buhari, the President has asked the incoming administration to see how Nigeria can be run as a country that belongs to all, insisting that he will never be part of any action that can lead to Nigeria's disintegration. President Goodluck Jonathan said the predictions that the country would cease to exist in 2015 could have come true if he had not conceded defeat in the presidential election. The president was addressing members of the Universal Peace Foundation, led by constitutional lawyer Mike Ozekome, who were in the presidential villa to confer on him an award of peace-loving global citizen. State House correspondent Chukwuma Onwekusi has the story.
He may be on his way out in the next few days, but many say he has left a footprint on the sands of time, to the admiration of even the Universal Peace Foundation, who came in their number to confer on him peace honors. But that's after the outpouring of accolades by one of them.
Mr. President, history will be very fair and just to you. Not just as President of Nigeria, but as perhaps, or arguably, the greatest Democrat we have ever had in this country.
Then the conferment. They say from today, President Jonathan represents Nigeria at the Global Peace Council, taking over from Chief Ernest Shonekan.
As the representative at the World Peace Council representing Nigeria.
Responding, the president recalls the national conference, the prediction of doom by pessimists, and why he made that all-important call to the president-elect. He said he remains a peace ambassador after now.
I cannot be a party to disintegration of the country. So I'm quite pleased with what has happened. We have a country country will be more united. I believe we only pray that incoming government should appreciate the contributions of everybody and see how we run Nigeria as a country that belongs to everybody, all citizens, irrespective of political persuasion. So that is what I stand for. And my singular act have made you now to come and honor us. It's not just me, because it was a slate. I ran the election with the vice president. If we had won, 2 of us would have been here. But by that act, 2 of us are packing out on Friday.
President Jonathan calls on Nigerians to commit themselves to strengthening those issues that can unite the country at all times. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, House of Representatives asked federal government to reconstruct and rehabilitate communities liberated from Boko Haram militants. Do stay with us.